Hello, welcome to Fallawsophy. I'm your host, Jennifer Fallaw, and tonight, got another exercise as we move forward into God-centered conscious creation. And then we're going to do some readings, yes, of course, but please hold off with your questions until I am done with the lesson, because I'm going to make you all learn this. Actually, I'm putting it out, and then I'm going to transcribe everything after from all the videos that I do when I put it all together for the Seventh Element program. So, today we're going to learn how to transmute the energy of events in our future that we have assigned. They used to be happy events, and now they're negative events because something ended, somebody passed, something happened. And we have been working on removing the negative energy bubbles in our energy field and in our body, so that we can fill it up with God's light of creation. And we can be a powerhouse of creation, create quicker, more efficiently, and positively. All right, let's do a check before I begin. Somebody said I was frozen. Let's see, Gia's in there. Marcy, you in there? Let's see where the admins are. Give me 10-4 if you're in. Give me 10-4 if you can hear me and see me clearly and I'm not frozen. The lighting's not too good in here today. All good? All right, thank you guys. 10-4, okay. And yes, to whoever I saw ask if the RV is happening, yes it is. Or I would not have spent all this time for like 5 years reporting on it. You can go ahead and save those questions until question and answer time. Rumble rants as well, because if you put your Rumble rant up now trying to get in front of the line, it's going to disappear. Unless it's a lot of money and it might stay there. But, okay. I think you get 1 or 2 minutes per dollar that you put up. I think that's the deal. So that's why we're waiting. And to everybody watching tonight, if you want RV information, I've prepared something. I'm going to be on Wolverine's Live on Telegram with Mike Barra and Wolvie and Carpathia and all them. At I think 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern tonight on the Chosen Ones on Telegram. And you have to be a member of that chat. I suppose you could message an admin and ask to join. But if you don't join, the recording, they put out the recording after it, and it will circulate. You'll find it if you were on Telegram. But tonight over there, I'm gonna try to explain, not so much like when, which I do have an idea of what I think it's going to happen. But why? Why now? Okay. All right. So today's topic is a calendar exercise. And that is the transmutation of negative emotional events in your life. We've been working really hard to do that. We've been doing, and this is really a psychological, it's a spiritual journey, but it's really a psychological journey, because that's who we are. And that's why we save these things in our energy field and we hold on to them so strongly. And so what is the importance of that? Once again, we want to get rid of the negative energy storage in our energy field because it takes up a lot of room. And if you'd like to be your own med bed, if you'd like to pull in a lot more God-centered light of God, God's high vibrational light of creation, then the more you pull in, the faster you're going to heal. The faster the positive events in your life, your creation will show up. Now, just a little, you have to be a little bit careful with your thoughts when you start getting to that place. Your vibration starts rising, because you're creating your experience. And just like you can create something positive in your life, the thoughts in your mind can also create more negative experiences for you to, as a soul, on a soul level, once again presented with the opportunity to learn a lesson. And we just don't know what our soul has chosen to learn when we come here. We don't have the program. Your spirit guide does. We don't have the itinerary. So we want to work on controlling our thoughts. And someone said to me, yes, controlling our emotions, but this doesn't mean you become emotionless. It means you become balanced. You become rational. You wake up out of the program and see the real reasons why things happen. Not only that, but learn to cope with things faster. So if you're full of this high vibrational energy, it doesn't mean you don't have emotion anymore. It doesn't mean nothing bad happens. It just means that you work through it, handle it better, and work through it faster. Okay? And get back to centered again. And start creating positive outcomes. And create a positive reality. So, it's kind of my gift. Whatever you give me, I'll turn it into a garden. I do that. That is my gift. And I've never been able to explain it to somebody until now. If you come at me and you're really negative, I'm going to do my best to put a smile on your face. If we have very little money, I will make it look like we are abundant. Everybody in my life has trained me to do that since day one. Everything that I have learned up to this time was leading up to the 7th element program that I will eventually put out, and there's many parts to it. Okay, but it is a transmutation of energy. And people say, well, you're an alchemist. Well, yeah, maybe. Basically taking something and turning it into something else. Okay? We can all do that. It all comes down to choice. And that's pretty easy with little things. Okay? But when something major happens in your life, like a death, you lose a job, the end of something. Somebody's birthday, the first date, the date of your divorce, the date of someone's passing, all these dates that mark up our calendar with all these black X's. And so in the present, we can get rid of all the pains and things from the past as much as we can and turn those bubbles into bubbles of wisdom instead of pain and regret and fear. Instead of black negative energy bubbles, we can turn them into bubbles of wisdom. And what are those? Those are light. Those are bright. But sometimes it's really hard My dad used to deal with this with certain dates. He was just really bad about that. And, the passing of his wife, the passing of somebody, certain dates that were coming, or even if he was alone and Christmas was coming, or a holiday was coming, it's a black mark on his calendar that he was dreading up until that day. Well, I can be kind of happy, but that's coming, and I know on that day, that's a day that I've scheduled on the calendar to be miserable. And if we have that planted in our mind, then we really can't truly be free. We can't really truly shine if we know a day is coming where I'm going to have to be miserable in the honor of something else, in their honor. Okay? And it's hot as hell in here, excuse me. Again. The morning shows are better. All right, so. Okay. I learned to do this. And I know you're all tired of hearing it, but I am going to use experiences in my life because I have been trained all this time through the experiences in my life to come here and teach you this. So you're going to hear it. I learned this after my husband passed away. He could never stand to see me or the girls cry. Just killed him. I mean, he was running around doing all kinds of bad things, and I knew it, but I couldn't keep up with him because I was raising the babies. They had babies, and I couldn't run around and keep up on what that guy was doing. It wasn't cheating, but it was, had a gambling problem and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, but he could never stand to see us cry. And so after he passed, we did the things that everybody does. We went to the grave regularly. And when I would take the kids to the grave, I didn't do that very often because it was just too hard for them. It was just too hard. So I'd go by myself when they were in school or somebody had them. And I remember one day, it was the last day I went to the grave. I have not been back since. I was sitting there on the ground crying. I would just go there and cry. It was early on. Been a few months. And I was just ridiculous. I mean, it was all right. Nobody was around, but just ridiculous. Like ugly crying, laying on the ground, what I mean, all this stuff. So, one day I was looking at the ground and right up in the peripheral there, I saw this really bright, like pant leg. Like bright. If somebody was illuminated from the inside, it was shining out. And I kind of looked up. It was mind's eye, of course, and he was standing there. And he just looked down at me and he said, "Don't do this anymore." And it hit me. He didn't want to see me cry. He didn't want, after they passed, they're around a lot. He didn't want to see me cry. There were a lot of things that I have stories that blow your socks off, but there was a lot of things that happened during that time within the first year. I kept trying to hold on to him any way I could by wearing the jewelry that he gave me. I just got it on all over me. And every time I would wear a piece that he gave me, a little ring or whatever, a stone would fall out of it. No reason for it. At all. Then I put it in the jewelry box. Okay, fine. So I take that off. And after about 3 or 4 of them, I finally said, but you know what? I am trying to move on. I will move on. Stop ruining my jewelry. I'm going to give it to the girls someday. My God, I can't afford to replace this stuff. Stop it. Okay. I knew it was him. Then there was the time when I wore his ring. I got a gold chain and I wore his wedding ring around my neck for a while. It was very comforting. And so one day I took it off to take a shower, locked the door, and the girls were watching TV. Everybody was situated and fine. I had time to take a shower. So, they were 4 and 7, and I locked the doors and I went in to take my shower. I took the ring off and I put the ring down and I stretched the chain out straight so it wouldn't kink. And I went and took my shower. I came out and I glanced at it. The ring was on the vanity. There's a vanity that he restored for me out of an antique. And I put it on that. And I came out and the ring was over here and the chain was in a pile, separated. And then I opened the door and it was still locked. And I opened the door and I asked, did you come into my room? Which didn't make any sense because the door was still. Did you come into my room and touch mommy's stuff? I don't want you guys coming and touching my jewelry and things. And they were still sitting there watching TV and they didn't, they didn't know what I was talking about. They hadn't moved. And so, okay. So I put it back the way I had it. I put it back on the chain and I stretched it out. And of course, I'm going to test it out. I'm really, all right, do that again. So I'll wear the ring if I want to, I'll just do that again. So I stretched it out. And it was time to go down and make dinner. I closed the doors, the one to the bathroom that led, and then the one to the bedroom. And I was in the living room with the girls, the living room kitchen area, making dinner. And at that time, a lot of people came over often. So I'm making dinner, and my brother shows up. And so Randy and I, after dinner, I'm sitting there and I'm telling about the ring story. And we're sitting on the couch. He goes, have you checked it? And I'm like, no. So you go run it upstairs. And same thing. It was off the chain. The ring was over here. And the chain was in a pile. And I'm like, okay. I won't wear it anymore. Telling me to let it go. Let it go. Okay. And, I was kind of pissed because it's only been a few minutes. I'm like, God, how fast do I have to get over this? But what you don't know with your loved ones that have passed away is that when they come to see you, they don't want to see you suffering. They are watching. They want to see you over them. They want to see you happy. And they want to see you thriving. They do not want you to suffer in their honor. They don't want you to X out all these days on the calendar, or the day you went here, or the day your first kiss, or your first date, or your anniversary, or your, whatever. And use that as an excuse when you're doing well to fall apart again. So this is what the girls and I did. And it's probably not what a psychologist tell you to do, but I'm just going to tell you what I did because it worked. All right. So after those sightings and that communication from him, I told the girls, if you want to go see Daddy's grave, you tell me anytime. Go anytime, day or night. I don't care. We'll go down there and we'll spend time with him. But you need to know, and Faith was seeing him all the time, so she knew, but you need to know that we don't have to go there to be with him. And so they knew that their entire life, that at any moment in time, I would take them out of school. Whenever they wanted to go, we would go. what we decided to do instead on the days, on his birthday, on my wedding anniversary, all the special days that had a black X on it. We decided that those days are going to be renamed. We will, you can have in the background, you can have that, okay, this was his birthday, or this was the day he died. But in front of that, we're going to write, we're going to highlight that day on the calendar. We're going to look at those days as days to celebrate your progress. So instead, what we did with all of that was I would schedule something special to do with the kids on those days. Something fun, something to look forward to. One time we were even actually at Disneyland on the day that he passed. So that when he looked in and you're still going to think about him. But when he looked in, we would be laughing and we would have a good time, and it wouldn't be fake. It would be real. And he would enjoy the time with us. Okay? So sometimes we resist this because I have to, if it means I don't love them, if I'm not suffering on that day. No. They don't really want you to do that. Especially parents. Parents raised you their whole life so that you could go on without them. It was coming eventually. They want to see you thriving. They want to see you happy. So, and for those who do not believe, I'm going to tell you this again. Some of you, this is review. And those of you who do not believe that they come and visit us, you will in a minute. My daughter was 7 years old. The day after he died, she started seeing him in random places in different clothing every time. And I was like, oh my God. And I was pretty, I had read a lot of Sylvia Browne's books, Conversations with God. I mean, I was well read at the time, just not well practiced. And I thought, wow, we might have a problem here. But I let it play out, and she proved me wrong every time. And little Miss Faith Marie always has, and she always will. When it comes to this, I have never seen a more powerful medium in all my life. And I know a lot of them. Okay, so the day came after all those experiences that it was time to take the ring off. I didn't want him screwing up the wedding ring. I was going to melt it down for the girl someday or do something with it, okay? So I knew it was time to take it off. It had been a few months. It was shortly after these other experiences. So I went upstairs, and the living room was just down from, so it's like a 4-level house. You walk in, living room, kitchen. You walk upstairs, maybe like 7, 8 stairs to a landing. There's a bathroom, and then there's the master bedroom. You walk from the living room, you walk downstairs to the girls' rooms, and from that level, you walk downstairs to the basement. So they were in the living room, sitting on the floor. They always sat on the floor and just like comatose watching the TV, okay? I could go up like this, and they wouldn't move. Like a bomb could go off behind them, and they would not stop watching the TV when they got like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm good for a minute. I'm going to go get this done. So I went up, I closed the door, and I just sat on my bed. I didn't cry. I wasn't doing anything. I was just trying to take it off. I mean, I took it off, I put it back on, I was trying to let go. Okay, I took it off, I put it back on, I took it off, I put it back on, and then, so then I walk across the room, and I put it in the jewelry box, and then I came back just very calmly and sat on the bed. And I was thinking about it, and I had his ring, like I told you, that was on the chain, and I thought, I was talking to him in my mind. I didn't say a word. And what I said to him in my mind was, you know, Bill, I wonder if you have like a replica in heaven. I wonder if you still have your ring on. And then I just sat there quiet, you know. Pretty soon, knock, knock, knock. And I went to the door, and there was Faith, 7 years old. And she would get this look on her face every time she saw him. It wasn't scared, but it was a shock. It's something you can't fake. A child cannot fake. And I never asked him, hey, you seen Daddy today? I never did that because I wanted it to me. I will, like, the way I research something, the way I test things out, I want to make sure that it's real. It's a real experience. So she's just standing there like, I mean, it was like this weird look. And I said, what? And she said, I just saw Daddy. And she had experiences like this before. And I said, oh, honey, he's just probably telling you that he's still around and he loves you. You know, it's just such a blessing that you have these experiences. You know, tell me what happened. And she's like, well, I was watching TV right where I left her. And she says, I felt something on my shoulder. And she looked to her right shoulder. And she said, I saw a hand. And I looked up and I saw Daddy and he was smiling at me and then he left. And that's when I again told her, oh, honey, what a blessing. I mean, what a gift that it is that you have these memories, you know, and she doesn't remember a lot of it now, but like, I wish she did. But she was facing the TV and it was just perfect. She wasn't old enough to figure this out. And so okay. And I told her, you know, honey, it's okay. You know, Daddy loves you and all this. And then she's okay. And she goes to walk. She walks on the landing. It's about a 5-foot landing before she goes down the stairs to the living room again. And she turns around and she goes, oh, and Mommy? And I said, yeah. She goes, he still has his ring on. And I was like, okay. Thank you. Went in this. That's when I lost it. That's when I closed the door. And I'm like, everything's fine. I just lost it. And then I was like, he heard me. I was talking to him in my head. That child, I wasn't making a sound. The door was closed. She was in her comatose state watching TV. There's nothing. She saw him. She said that his hand was on her right shoulder, and that would, if he was standing next to her, that would have been her left hand. That would have been the ring finger. She doesn't know that. He heard me, and he came to her so that I would know that he still had his ring on. Argue with that. They do visit us. They do hear you in your head. They do not want to see you suffer longer than needed. And on our quest to become evolved and to get rid of these lump in the throat, this is coming. I have to deal with it again. It's on the calendar. There's nothing I can do about it for the rest of my life. And the longer you live, the more of these X's we have. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to take power over the remaining days we have on that calendar. We've cried it out. It's going to take a little while for some of them if it's something new and fresh. Okay? We've cried it out. We've done the work. We've done the grieving. It doesn't have to be a black X anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to transmute the energy of those days. And now we're going to look at those days as celebration days. Celebration of you, of your strength, like a graduation day of school. I worked through this trauma, this pain. I won over this. When you get home in heaven, you're going to look at these days like that. Wow, you went through that and you kept going and you were strong. We're going to turn these days into a celebration days. And so now on our calendar, this is the exercise. Go get a calendar. I want you to go through this calendar, whether, like it's like middle year, who cares? Just go get the current year. It's cheaper. All right. You can get another one later. What we're going to do is we're going to go through each month. And for all of these days that give you a pang, a dread, oh, that's the day. We're going to highlight that day. Okay? Yellow. We're going to highlight it in yellow. Because what does yellow mean? Yellow is sunshine. Yellow is bright. Yellow is celebration. These are going to, and then I want you to write on that day, celebration day. And I want you to keep this calendar hung up somewhere. Or maybe on your desk. You don't have to share it with everybody. Somebody asks, say, well, I need some more fun days in my life. Nobody needs to know what you're doing. And we're going to remember because they're highlighted and we look at this, or if you have some way of highlighting it electronically, do that. I really want it like a physical calendar for this. Okay. And now we have something to look forward to. Now those days are for you. Now you took your power pack from the pain because it doesn't need to be there anymore. If it's a divorce or an old relationship or something like that, those people, they're gone. It's over. You got to move on. Like this, there's no reason for you to suffer again in their honor. And the ones that you love, or even pets, you will think of them on that day, just like I thought and talked to him in my mind on that bed. He showed up and she saw him. If she had not come and tell me, I never would have known that. And I never would have told you this right now. You see how everything fits together? So what we're going to do is we're going to take our power back over these days. And as you look to your future, we don't have this dark bubble there still about that impending doom, that upcoming anniversary, that upcoming day. Because what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and move forward in life with a positive attitude, hopeful, excited about our future because we're going to create a great one. Okay? We're going to have success. We're going to have fun. We're going to have happiness. We're going to have comfort. And we can't do that fully if we've got this black X. Oh, except for that day. That day is a bad one. That day we're going to cry and be miserable and feel sick and everything else. If you can't let go enough, then that day you're supposed to celebrate you. Okay, but on that day, if you need to celebrate them, then you do that. I am going to go have fun in your honor today. Other countries do this. I'm going to go have a drink for you. You know, I'm going to go do something. I'm going to plan that spa day on that day so you can see me. My energy is happy and my energy is peaceful when you come around, because I will think of you. Okay. But for other days that are associated with losses, you know, that's when I lost that job. That's when I, got in the accident. Oh, I'm going to stay home and be scared on that day, because what if that's a bad day for me and I'm going to get a nut? No. We're going to take our power back from that. Because every day that comes after this one is yours now. Okay? So that's the calendar exercise. It's like funny because I sit around and, well, not very often, but when I have time to think and sit down, this happens. I start thinking about, it just comes to me. Like, wow, like, okay, I'm pulling the light in every day, which you should. God, send me your light. We're going to sit with it a little bit before we go to bed. We're going to just, the longer we sit with that light, that high vibrational energy in your body, the faster you're going to heal. Okay? We're cleansing away the negative that we accumulated that day. We want to keep ourselves clean. We go to all this trouble to keep yourself physically clean. And take all these supplements and do all these things so that we're healthy inside. But we're emotionally so dirty. Especially the empaths. And you know who you are. So I sit around and I think about, okay, well, what's left? And I was thinking about the rest of the summer. Bill died on August 17th, 2007. And I said, oh, that day is coming. I got to figure out something fun to do with the girls. Every year we do that. And then I kind of smiled and laughed about it, because I was like, yeah, I have done that every year. His birthday. We all know. We don't forget about him. You're not going to forget about this person. We all know what the day is. Even if I've moved on, even if it's not like it's not like a romantic connection anymore. And it wasn't for, that ended early on. It's the girl's dad. It's the man who gave me my children. Above all, that is the greatest gift that I have ever received. And so I have respect for that. I honor that. Despite what he did to me. No amount of bad behavior can squash that reality. And so, on that day, the girls and I go and we do something happy together. And so that's where these exercises are coming from. And see, they're usually either ideas that I have or something I learned a long time ago and didn't even realize what I was doing. So it's doable. You can do it. Most definitely can. So that's an easy one. But it is one that will follow you for the rest of your life. And hopefully it'll help you give yourself permission to stop mourning. Because some people never do. And they don't know any better. In your mind, you're thinking, well, of course I have to do this. I have to show them how much I care still. I don't want them to think that I've forgotten them or that I don't care at all. Well, put yourself in their shoes. Let's say you passed and your children. And every time you come in, they think of you. You've been there often, but every time you come in, Everybody back home is celebrating your day, and you come here and everybody's crying. Everybody's miserable. Everybody's just, it hurts you. Like, I didn't raise you not to be able to go on without me. So that's what we're going to do. And then we can chip away and remove that lump in the throat feeling that day is coming. And we can truly remove more dark bubbles from our energy field. So let's do that. What time is it? What time do I have that show? It's at 7 with Wolvie for me. 10 Eastern. Okay. Everybody, you can always ask questions about the lessons that I have taught, the exercises from before, anything like that. You can go ahead and start your Rumble rants if you'd like to push ahead of the line. There is a $10 minimum to push ahead of the line with your Rumble rants, because I would like to also offer free questions, okay? So I make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah. Emotions do not have to be your enemy. But you can make it your greatest strength. And if you're an empath, that's what you should do. Okay. So let's get to questions. I don't know what happened there. Okay. You know what? I need to go down here because I can't see that. I'll try to get to the YouTubes and try to see them, okay, on here. But right now I'm going to Rumble. So if you're on YouTube and you would like to go over to Rumble, there's a link for the Rumble show posted on my Fallawsophy on Telegram, or it is Fallawsophy with Jennifer Fallaw on Rumble. Janet 5. This is Janet. I have a ticket to fly to Malta on August 5th. Do I have an easy travel there and back? It is. Yeah, you'll be okay. Yeah, it's going to be fun. That's a good vacation. I mean, I know where you're going, but it's actually a good vacation. I know what you're doing though. Mo Tax Lady, are my vibrations high enough for the exchange and med beds? Yeah. I don't really think that's true. I mean, there's probably, I mean, even if it was, it'd have to be a large spectrum, which you don't understand, is that a person's vibration can fall when they're ill. Psychically, that's where people get tripped up sometimes, because they'll think a person's evil, they're reading the energy, but it's actually illness. So there's a fine line there. I don't believe they're going to scan your vibration and say, oh, sorry, you didn't make the cut. Otherwise Mike Bear is screwed. I mean, seriously, he's screwed. I'm just kidding. I know you're watching me, Mike. I always have to give him crap constantly because it's fun. All right. I'm scrolling back here trying to get some other readings. All right, wait a minute. Rebel rants are coming in. Gina's in there. Marcy's in there. Scott's in there. Thank you, guys. Thorbus. Hi, Tom. Okay. Something about bananas everyone's talking about. I'm back too far. All right, the rubber bands. Let me get to, all right. Clear, 55. Will my mother go home from rehab, go to Cedar Crest, or a crappy long-term care facility? Thank you for everything. I don't have your name. I don't have the mother's name. Let me ask Gabriel. She goes home. First. I don't know if you have to put her in another place later. Hopefully we get her to a med bed, but like for a little while, temporary. All right, I left off there. Yes. Hey Jen. This is Jackie V. Silly question, but I still want to know, do you see us buying a house in Maui? Yeah. Yeah, I think you're Maui bound either way. I mean, like, you guys got your heart set on that. Lieslo 69. My Aunt Sheila is having a hard day today thinking about her daughter Bobby Joe that passed around 20 years ago. Let's do this exercise with her. This Bobby got 20 years ago. Kids, I know. If you lose a child, that is the worst loss ever. But it's been 20 years. We could shift that for her into when the day comes that, if it just pops its head up, let's celebrate my daughter, and let's do something fun instead. Does she have a message from Mom? Bobby Joe. Well, she loves her, and she sees her often still. I'm not far away. So when they say that, they mean I'm not far away. Just call me. Call me in. It's as simple as announcing their name in your head. Come sit with me. And even if you can't see them, they're there. They can see you. The Kill. Hi, Jen. Terry here. My friend Anna got married last weekend. Her mother-in-law, Annette, passed away last year. Was Annette around at the rehearsal, dinner, and wedding? Does she have a message for Anna? Show me where. Both. So there's something about her being around when people were arranging chairs, rearranging chairs. I don't know if it's for the rehearsal dinner or the wedding, but they were rearranging chairs, and she was helping. I think it's a man. Like she was talking to him, like saying, "No, no, no, you don't want to put them there, and you're going to need to put this," like helping with it. She saw you in her dress. Yeah, she was there. Yeah. Okay. Sia Kaufman. Will we keep our house that we are in now? Yes. Okay. Flores says Letty 60. Will I be able to go meet my family in South Carolina this coming weekend? No. Something comes up. It's centered around finances. Yeah, I'm getting a no on that one. I don't want to say what I suspect that you're busy with, but it's a possibility. Okay. Mishy D, hi Jen, Michelle here. Will my granddaughter do well in the middle school next year? She won't have the support she had in elementary. Her name is Elena. Yeah. She does sign up for some like additional tutoring somehow. I don't know if it's at lunch with homework or after school, but it really makes a big difference. And then there's a new group of friends, at least 2 of them. Yeah, she'll be fine. Nancy, hi Nancy. Will my son Bill Chrysler wake up soon? Approximately when, if you can see? It's going to be into next year before you see signs of that. It's going to be unavoidable in 26. Well, shortly, but it's going to be unavoidable. Doodle, I'm in need of a car. Can you tell me when it may happen? Doodle, if you're in need of a car, don't send me $10. September? You actually order one. Treeman 5060, see Linda and Clyde getting the house on Hoffman. If so, and when? Hoffman. Three weeks to a month? Yes. This is Sherry Hill. Does my humanitarian project get approved? Thanks. Sherry Hill. Yes, 3 of them. Oh. See ya, Kaufman. Thank you. Jen, you are very appreciated. Love your show. Oh, thank you so much for the tip there. That was nice. All right. So I think that's the end of the Rumble rants. Megan Angus is now a monthly supporter and an author. You got the book. I love the cover. I love it. Is that you on there? You look amazing if it is. I haven't read it yet. I don't have a lot of time for reading, but I will. You're going to publish 4. I just heard that in your mind. Yes, but will I get the other one? But yes, you will. You're going to publish 4. Okay. I think I just got a new batch of Rumble rants. No, I did Tree Man. Did that. Okay, this is Jan C. My hubby Billy passed away August 7th, 3 years ago. I'm so sorry. Does he have a message for me? Jan C. I don't know what this means. I see you in the windows. Or through the window. I don't know if you like stand in front of a window and just stare out the window or something. Something about windows. Or if that's what it feels like to him, his experience, like seeing you through a window. Somebody talking about? No. Okay. He's just saying that you're going to know what he's talking about. Think about it. Think about it for a while. Sometimes when they do that, it doesn't pop up right away, but then later it makes sense. Kim Vale, $50. Well, thank you, Kim. That was nice. Hi, Jen. I hope you're doing well. This is Kim. We are going on a trip with my daughter and her family to Crescent City, California. From Tuesday through Saturday this coming week. Will the trip go well? Isn't that like Northern California? Isn't that beautiful? Crescent City. If you're driving, get the tires checked. I just keep seeing a tire. Yeah, it'll go well. I'm seeing a tire that could possibly have been plugged before, like a leak. Or it is, or they do find a leak. Go and if you're driving, have everything checked out. Get the tires checked. KW124, please help me know for sure if I will be buying a home in the Yakima in Washington area, so it can be by my cousins. Well, I can't tell you for sure for anything because you still have choices to make. You could just up and decide not to do everything all of a sudden, and it's not for sure. Okay. I can look and see at the most likely timeline here. Yes. Yes, you will. Amber, B360, hi Jen. You thought I would meet someone new a few months back, and then on Monday you described him to a T. Is Marvin someone Jesus and the angels want me to explore? It is completely up to you always, but people are led to you sometimes by them. Marvin. Got a thumbs up from Gabriel. In the peripheral, thumb just came right out here so I could see it. All right. Thormus. Hi, Jen. Love you too. Was Sandy with us at breakfast last weekend? I felt she was playing with Thatcher. Does she visit with Danny? He's 6 now, and I don't think. It was funny with somebody that you know. I just say Sandy, and I call her, and I see her like turn around, like what, and like come in, you know. Yeah, she's happy about it. She thought it was so cute. She stayed for the whole thing. She sat down. Oh yeah, she was there. And she's like, "Well, you just tell him I'm always there." She's like, she's there more than she's not there right now. Okay. Oh, and she wants you to know. She goes, "Tell him I love him. She loves you a lot." Okay. Stormy 58. Hey, Donna here. My husband Tim Bogue passed away August 2021. I'm sorry. Does he want to say anything to me? Tim. He wants you to know that you're listening to him. Like boom, 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 boom. Everything, every time he sends you a message, you act on it. And he's very proud of you. And he misses you. And he's fine. And I love you. What else? Stop worrying. He goes like, it's any day now. Everything's going to be okay. He has a lot of messages for you. But you're very receptive. I mean, like, you may not know that you're hearing him. You know. You just don't trust it. Trust it. All right. All right, right to opinion. Hi, Jen. Can you see what I may be doing creatively after the RV? Thank you. Workshops. I don't know if this is crafting or if this is art or some kind of, but they're workshops. Sometimes you're teaching, and sometimes it's just getting everybody together. Like if they were all doing pottery or something. So they're workshops. I think you're teaching most of the time. Okay. Gary Yogi. Hi, Jen. Gary Moore here. Any messages from my spirit guides today? Gary Moore. You have 4. Somebody has purpose coming up here. We've got 2 teachers. We've got somebody for strength. So you must have gone through something recently that you're still dealing with. And then we have the primary messages here. You're on your way. There's no need to delay this. You know what to do. You just have to accept it. And believe that you're worthy of this. So even if you're just like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, lady, you're pretty crazy, you know, like, no, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. All right. Hi, Jen. Will our projects get approved, and will we buy a second home in Scottsdale and one in Switzerland? Thanks, Sabrina. You might pass on the Scottsdale, but I do see something in Switzerland. You are like so drawn to Switzerland. I mean, in your mind, you're thinking, well, we'll do that later. But I feel like you start that right away. Okay, Bishop K. Hi, Jen. Karen S. My 4-year-old border collie named Hoyt was diagnosed with bronchial disorder. The vet is wanting to put him on $150 a month medication he can't afford. He does need it. Ask if there is an alternative or a generic that is not $150. There is something else that's going to be like $40. I don't know if you have like pet insurance or if they sign you up for that or something else. But I'm seeing like a $40 prescription for something. Okay, KW124. My name is Kathy Weber. Is my deceased husband Bruce Weber. Sad to not finish out this. Yeah, well, not sad. He's not sad. He's like already here. I mean, just a little bit jealous, a little bit envious. He's kidding around with me. He's laughing. It was always meant for you. He didn't know it. It was always meant for you. So if you feel like it was his idea first and you kind of like was left holding his dream and he didn't get to experience, the purpose was always to get you involved in this because it's your birthright. It's your future. And his responsibility, and although he didn't know at the time, was to make sure you get it. Alrighty then. That was a nice message. Brad, 2001. Jan here. Do you see my son Seth moving soon? November. I don't know why that's. I don't know why that's funny. I don't know why. I feel like you're laughing with me on that one, with the grandchildren at home. I'm not sure if he's at home or what, but like, it's gonna take a little longer. Michelle in prime time. Hi, will I be buying houses in Colorado or Texas or both? Thank you. Texas. Why not Colorado? You just don't like the people or something. I don't know. You didn't like the vibe. You just passed on it. Amp Chen, hi Jen, this is Annette. Does Jesus or the angels have a message for me? Jesus, let's see what we got. Nothing's wrong. You're okay. Must be physical, Jesus. So I don't know if you've had a little bit of health anxiety about something. You're okay. Now, if you're having chest pains or something, don't listen to me. Go in and, whatever. Do what the doctor says. Go in and make sure you don't die. But you're fine. He's saying, it's okay. Might have a little bit of anxiety there, and you may not be somebody that's had that before. Why can't I get down to the bottom? Oh, it's okay. It froze up. Don't know. All right, let's. Time is it? Yeah, I got another show that live to do. Ellie Cool 123. Hi, Jen. I'm a bit lost at the moment. What do you see me do? What do you see for me going forward? Abundance, advancement, new memories, happy friendships, basically everything. Like, I don't know why he's showing me when Moses parted the Red Sea and everybody wandered the desert before that for like 40 years? That's us. Pretty much. Oh, this is once. Okay, so no more rumble rants. I'm going to get going. Scott 1484. Do the angels of Jesus have anything new for me? Thank you for the ladybug pen. That was so nice of you to send. It's so cute. I was going to put it on, but I forgot. Jesus is proud of you for staying faithful through this time of all this doubt and indecision. Really proud of you for not losing faith. Okay. One more and then we're done. Elliot. LJ Elliot. Oh, hi. Will my son Drew get the job with his company that he interviewed for? It's in Plano, Texas. LJ Elliot. Drew. Yeah. Something about time before starting or hearing about it. But yeah. Okay, guys, that's enough Rumble Rants. I gotta get going. I've got that live with Wolby tonight. What the hell was I going to talk? I was going to talk about something else with you. Let's see. I can't remember. Oh, growth. No more Rumble Rants, please. So, but for those people following the RV, waiting to do humanitarian projects, mostly that's who I'm here to teach. Everybody, but those are the ones that are going to find me right now. Would you have really been ready before? We don't want to admit that because we hate the waiting, and it's been hard. The last 5, 10, whatever, how many years you've been waiting for this thing, would you really have been ready then? No? You probably could have pulled it off. I love you too, Marcy. But we have grown so much stronger despite our best efforts to kick and scream and fight the whole way. I did. I do not like giving up on people. It's really hard for me to give up on people. It's really hard for me. I tend to be a little bit stubborn, maybe I'm hoping it's in the best way. But it's hard for me to accept defeat in certain things, but I had to. Because it was in those moments where I crashed and burned and rose. It was when I was given the choice to lay down and surrender or to keep going that I changed. I mean, I'm still me, but I'm not so passive anymore. And not in a confrontational way, just more recognizing truth. I have changed. We all have grown in the waiting. We have, and patience. Talk about a test of patience. My God, I don't know anything that comes close to it except having children. They should put people in classes and have somebody just obsessively poke you before you have children. Just practice. Pull the hair out from the sides of your head. That's what babies do. They're like, I had no hair, like right here, from my babies. Because they would just grab on with those little fists and they wouldn't let go, and let's rip that out. So, like, I don't have time for this. It'll grow back. But we have walked through fire. We have had so many losses. We have stayed strong. And what you have learned in the waiting is patience. Like epic amounts of patience. Discernment. You have learned what truth feels like. And you will need that on your journey. Because when you have a bunch of money and you're setting out to do something good, the bad guys will find you. And they will try to convince you. And if you were who you were before 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or whatever, they'd probably deceive you. But now, And when you've stayed and endured so much, and you are on your way to accomplish a goal, and you've walked through fire to get there, do you think you're going to give it up? No way, man. You might have before. Okay? You have grown in faith. You have learned to trust in the worst of times. Patience. You know what truth feels like. You've even learned to be in tune, even if you weren't on a spiritual journey or into any of that. You have learned to tune into people's energies and decide who's bad and who's good and all this stuff. You're ready. You're ready. And so in your reality, it's time. And I'm the worst. I fight everything. I mean, just like, no. I don't want this to end. I don't want this. I have totally put so much effort into this. Like the marriage. This can't be happening. No. I have to fix this right now. I have to fix absolutely everything for everyone so that nothing happens. Okay. And so, but sometimes it's like a ticking time bomb. The things that need to fall out of your life. And then there's people, that maybe fell out of your life that were going through their own changes, and maybe they'll come back. And we can hope for that. And we give hope the best for them, send them love, freaking, all right, man, learn it when I'm learning my stuff. That's fine. That's okay. But we have all been through a spiritual journey, at least in the last 5 years, on crack. I mean, we should all give ourselves a round of applause for that crap that we all just went through. I mean, I'm serious. That was major. We are ready now. We're not going to be deceived when we go out there with all that money and start these projects and how, we're going to be savvy. We're going to know who we're dealing with now. We've tuned into our guidance. We've done the work to raise our vibration. We're going to be led. We are freaking ready from all this crap. I'm excited about it. At least I think we are. Pretty sure. We're going to hit it out of the park. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. You guys are going to be shining like diamonds, and you're going to look back one day and you're going to be so proud of yourself. And you're just going to be too high vibrational to even say anything to anybody about it. You're just going to be, yeah, I guess did a good job. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did a good job. Take a look at who you used to be. You're still that person. Refined. It's kind of like a freshman in high school compares to somebody who's getting their PhD. I mean, you just had you were just on your PhD journey there. We are ready. We are going to make a difference. It is going to be awesome. Stick with me. And as I think of new things that we can just, get rid of more energy bubble, dark energy from ourselves so that we can shine brighter. I will let you know. Okay. You're going to want to learn it now because someday I'm going to take all these videos down. I'm going to transcribe them and I'm going to start turning them into books. I'm going to put the whole thing together. And there's a lot more. But everything I've ever learned basically goes into this 7th element program. Then I'm going to go and start teaching it in locations, maybe once a month, I'm not going to do it all the time. I don't want to be like touring the world all the time. I'm a homebody. I like to make dinner and stuff and like see grandkids get off the bus. I have to do that. I have to do that. I can't wait for that. All right, guys. I'll see you over on Wolverine's chat. Be there. I am hoping that I don't have any problems with the audio because sometimes I get on the chat and I can't hear anything. And I have to keep getting out, getting back in, getting out, getting back in. So hopefully that doesn't happen. God, don't let that happen. But I do have a lot to say. I was putting the pieces together from the Gentel about where we are. And everybody just keeps blurting out dates and they have contacts and they can't tell you anything that the contacts really said, so nobody really understands what's going on in a very simple way from what I received from the angels, not human contacts. I'm just going to kind of put it together about where we are right now and why, so you understand. Okay. And why all your intel providers over and over again have given you dates that have not come to pass. I'm going to explain why. All right, so I'll see you guys over there. I'm going to go cool off. Have a lovely evening, and thank you for joining me. And I will see you over there in the chat, and then I'll see you tomorrow morning on Real News Live with Mike and Jen on Rumble, 10 a.m. Pacific, or 10:05 Pacific, 1:05 Eastern. All right, thanks. Bye.